In Japan, every kid learns the word Bucho. The club captain, the baseball team, the brass band, the student council, the one at the front, the one who made it. 30 years later, corporate Japan uses the same word for a department manager. Same trophy. That's the story anyway. Because Japanese workers today have another name for that job. The penalty game. Not a joke. Not one office's dark humor. A phrase heard across the country now, for the job kids used to dream about. That's not ambition dying. That's a generation looking at the people above them and doing the math. I'm Bucho, a department manager at one of Japan's biggest companies, 15 years in. By most measures, I've made it, and yet I want out. I became a Bucho at 38. In Japan, that's fast. I won the race, and the prize was the penalty game. In the next few minutes, I'll show you the 4 numbers that turned Japan's trophy into a punishment. By the end, you'll see why the winners of the promotion race are often the ones most desperate to leave it. And I want to know if a promotion still means winning in your country. I'll ask you at the end. This is not a lecture about Japanese work culture. This is the view from the middle of the pyramid, from someone holding the trophy right now. First, what this job actually is. A Bucho runs a department. The team's numbers, revenue, cost, output, all of it lands on one desk. Direction, hiring, evaluations, and when necessary, letting people go. Plus the upward half, turning strategy from above into something the team can execute. On paper, it sounds like power. Now let me show you the 4 numbers. Number 1, the position. In Japan's government wage statistics, out of every 100 regular employees, about 7 are kacho, section managers, and about 4 are bucho. 11 people out of 100, holding up the middle. Above them, a thin layer of executives. Below them, everyone else. The school bucho stood at the front of the room. The corporate bucho stands between 2 floors, carrying weight from above, shielding the floor below. I'm one of those 11. Number 2, the paycheck. The moment a worker crosses into management in Japan, the overtime rules that protect regular employees stop applying. It's written into the Labor Standards Act, Article 41. Work 10 hours, work 14. No overtime pay, not 1 yen. The annual salary goes up, yes, but divide it by the hours actually worked, and in workplaces heavy with overtime, the math can flip. A manager earning less per hour than the people reporting to them. Real enough that it's one of the things Japanese courts look at when deciding whether a manager is really a manager. And here's the strange loop. My team is protected, and protecting them is part of my job. I watch their hours. I make sure they take their leave, so I tell them, go home, rest, and then I stay. Because someone has to absorb the gap between what the company demands and what the rules allow my team to do. That someone is me. I've done that division for myself once. I didn't do it twice. Number 3, the lawsuit. A McDonald's store manager in Japan took the company to court. His argument was simple. I have the title of manager, but I don't control my own hours. I don't set staffing. I follow instructions from above. A manager in name only. In 2008, the court agreed. McDonald's was ordered to pay about 7.5 million yen, just under 50,000 US dollars, in unpaid overtime and penalties. That case gave Japan a permanent phrase, manager in name only, a title without the power. The point was never that one company was uniquely cruel. It was that the law had a door, and a lot of companies were walking their managers through it. Most Japanese managers know that phrase. Almost none of us says it out loud. Number 4, the verdict. In 2026, a research institute asked 10,000 Japanese workers a simple question. Do you want to become a manager? Among regular employees, 17% said yes. 17%. The lowest number since they started tracking in 2018. When I first saw that number, I didn't think, how sad. I thought, they've been watching this. And before anyone decides, that's just how people are everywhere. A different private survey back in 2019 asked workers across 14 Asian and Pacific markets a similar question: did they want to move up? In India, 86% said yes, Vietnam, 86, Australia, 45, New Zealand, 41, Japan, 21, dead last. And one level below me, the Cacho, it's even harder to say yes. A Cacho has nobody to pass the pressure down to. It arrives and stops there. So this isn't a generation without ambition. It's a generation that ran the numbers the same way I did and decided the prize isn't worth the price. The company calls it a promotion, the workers call it a penalty game. And when the reward for winning needs a nickname like that, something in the design is broken. Quickly, this channel is about what corporate Japan really looks like from the inside, from the manager's chair. Now, back to the trophy. I told you I became a Bucho at 38. Here's the part I didn't tell you. For most of Japan's corporate history, rank came with age. Nenko Joretsu, seniority order. Everyone waited their turn. But that system has been giving way to a job-based model, and companies began fast-tracking people they spotted early. I was part of that wave. Cacho at 35, Bucho at 38. But here's the thing. I was exactly the kind of person who looked at the managers above me and thought, that looks like a penalty game. I watched them stay late, absorb the blame, get squeezed from every direction. And I thought, I don't want that. Then the company decided I was ready. In Japan, saying no to a promotion isn't really an option. So I said thank you, and became the thing I used to watch from the outside. And only then did I understand what the managers I used to watch were actually carrying. There's one thing I feel more than anything else in this job: time. Because there's no overtime pay, I became almost obsessive about my own hours, so I rebuilt the job, cut the meetings I could, systematized the approvals I could, drew a hard line around my time. And mostly, it worked. Today, I have something most managers in Japan never get: free time. I can leave before the official end of the day and still keep the trust of the floor above me and the floor below. On paper, I got out of the penalty game. But there's a part I can't optimize away. No matter how efficient I make the work that's mine, the structure keeps producing work that isn't. Approvals just to reach the one person who can actually sign off, then approvals to get those approvals. Pure waste. Admin that drops on me out of nowhere. Short deadlines set by the company's calendar, not mine. And it comes from below, too. When a project 2 or 3 levels down catches fire, it lands right back on me. There was a year that was supposed to be a calm one. Then, almost overnight, I was caught in the middle. Pressure from above, fires from below at the same time. It was brutal. I can streamline everything I own. I can't switch off the things I don't. And that's the part that gets to me. It was never about how much work there is. It's that no matter how good I get at this job, the final say over my own time still belongs to someone else. When I talk to friends my age, not one of them wanted to become a manager. Not one. Some were pushed up, like me. Some found ways to stay just below the line, anything to avoid the title. Now, I work for one of the big companies. The raise was real. I took steps, and with a bit of luck, I've ended up an outlier. But it's fragile. One transfer, one bad year, and I could slide right back in. So for me, personally, calling it a penalty game might be an overstatement. But most companies in Japan aren't big companies. They're small and medium businesses. Thinner margins, fewer people, the same expectations. And at a lot of them, it really has become a penalty game. No exaggeration. So no, I'm not saying the 17% are wrong. When a system takes away your overtime pay, hands you pressure from two directions and calls that winning, refusing the trophy isn't a lack of ambition, it's the rational choice. The people below us aren't blind. They're just the first generation allowed to say it out loud. Earlier, I promised I'd ask. In your country, is a promotion still a prize? If your company offered you the manager job tomorrow, the title, the raise, the hours, would you take it? And if you already manage people, be honest. Did it feel like winning? Or did you understand the penalty game a little too well? Tell me in the comments where you're from, which side you're on, and whether you'd take the job. I'm Bucho. I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.